On today's video, we're going to be looking at the most investable cards in Magic, and that means we're taking a look at the reserve list. Hi everyone and welcome back. MTG Moxman here. I hope you're all having a fantastic day today. As we delve into the reserve list, let's have a conversation about it. When you think about the reserve list, it is the safest, most investable area in Magic. Other than sealed product, this is the place to be. And the cards tend to go up and down. They wane and wax with popularity just like other parts of Magic. But they never go back down to previous levels. They only continue to slowly grow and rise in value. Now, I am not a financial advisor. Go find somebody who knows what they're talking about. This is purely an entertainment channel, and my information should be taken for entertainment purposes only before you get too serious on what's going on. But I tend to buy the cards I believe in. We're going to take a look at some great reserve list cards today, and not all of them are selling like hotcakes, which means some of their prices are being suppressed. Let's take a look at some great cards today. I hope you enjoy the video. Our first card we're showing you today is Metalworker from Urza's Destiny. This card comes in at $190 Canadian lightly played. Now the formats permitted are Commander, Legacy, and Vintage. The sales are very high on this card, by the way. The average is $160 US. The market has it at $160.81 US. But remember, old foils like this, being the first set to ever have foils, this card comes in at $902 US for a foil. They're incredibly hard to find. Get used to it. For those who are looking overseas, you're looking at €92.51 to get this card. It has drifted down from its highs in the mid 200s. This card is getting more affordable. If you're a person hoping to get into that reserve list and buy some of these cards, this is definitely one of the cards you want to grab. Its ability to pump out mana for you in a Vintage Legacy style deck or even in Commander is amazing. Keep this card on your watch list. Trade up for it. Do what you can. It is a card to watch. Let's go ahead and take a look at our next card, which of course, Pendrell Mists. Not everyone gets to have a Tabernacle at Pendrell Vale, so they go for Pendrell Mists. This card is $17 Canadian for a lightly played copy. The average is $18.43 US. Now, the market has it at $16.31. €16.38 will get you that card. This card has collapsed from where it was. It reached 40 bucks at one point. It's down to $16, $17 Canadian, depending on the copy you're going for. This might be the time to snag this. You can basically get a 2-for-1 deal if you needed to get a playset. And the sales are high. People are buying it at this low price, and people have not really adjusted prices yet upward because there hasn't been a massive buyout to signal the cards to go higher in price. So a card like this can be grabbed really cheap right now. If it's a card you might use in a Commander deck, keep your eye out because Commander, Legacy, and Vintage are where these cards can be found and in use. Let's go ahead and take a look at our next card, which of course is going to be Natural Selection Unlimited Edition. Now, this card is $270 Canadian. It is one of my all-time favorite artworks for those who know. It was a green card that has an instant. Look at anybody's library, the top 3 cards, put them back in any order, or put them on the bottom of their library. Now, the average is $298.99 US. The market is $250.50 US or €174.48 to get that card. It has, again, like other cards, come down from its highs, but that just tells me it's getting cheaper and more affordable, and that's what I like to see. Now, the formats, of course, are Commander, Vintage, and Legacy, and I have seen it played a couple of times in each of these formats, so keep an eye out. This is one of those cards people underestimate, and if you want a collector edition, you can save a lot of money grabbing a copy of that instead if you just want something to play with. Now, Blaze of Glory, this card has slow sales, okay? It's not moving quickly. Unlimited editions can be found for $125 Canadian. That is cheap for a card that is not only unlimited, but also a reserve list unlimited. The average is $122 US. The market has it at $95.66 US, €135 to get that card. I like the card. I always thought it was kind of fun, the idea that you can block everything. And some cards would have like Lure and Death Touch and fun stuff like that. It was kind of a blast to put this in the right context. One dwarf holding off an army of all evil. I like the idea of it. So Blaze of Glory, way to go. Hopefully somebody recognizes your greatness sometime in the future. Raging River is up next. This is an unlimited card, and just like Natural Selection and Blaze of Glory, it is unlimited, which is hard to find already. And it's a reserve list card that is unlimited, which is awesome. $180 Canadian for a lightly played copy. The average is $3.99 US. That's a lot of cash because you can see that the market has it at $177.48 US. And remember, €79.99 will get you that card. Raging River is very unique. They took it out because it was kind of complicated. But when you're about to attack, defend, you have to like choose your side of the river, and you can only send it's a complicated card. But when you read it and break it down, it can be a blast to play in Commander, Legacy, or Vintage, depending on what kind of deck you're building. I love getting complicated cards like this. They were so much fun. So because of that, and because it's pretty cheap right now, a Canadian copy does not cost you a lot of money. Keep that card in mind if it's something you're looking for. Underrated, great mechanic, not used anymore. It has a lot going for it for later life in collectability, and it's a beautiful artwork. All right, our next card is Fastbond, another card that has dropped down in price but has very high sales. This card is only allowed to be played in Vintage. It should be allowed in Commander. It makes no sense why it's banned. It's a one of. I don't understand, and I really think the Commander playgroups have got it wrong. I don't know why they're listening to those guys who make up the rules. I just don't follow it. I don't believe in it. Unban it all. So, $30 Canadian for a lightly played copy. You can see the average there is $32.48 US. The market is $21.47 US. And €30.79 to get you that card. At one point, this card was around that $60, $70 Canadian mark. It's really come down in price, and I like it. I've always enjoyed it. And remember, bannings change. Things can switch. If this card continues to fall, I myself will be buying some extra copies to hold for the channel because it is awesome, and I love myself a Fastbond since I was in the days of being a youth playing in my Vintage deck. All right, let's go ahead and take an Arabian Nights card, which is epic, and that is the Guardian Beast. Now, the Guardian Beast here can be found in Canada for $850 Canadian. The average is $15.99 US, which of course is off. The market is $716.82 US, and €1,058 will get you that card. He is climbing in price, as most Arabian Nights cards are. It has such a small print run. They're very hard to come across in any decent condition, and the Guardian Beast stops all your artifacts from getting blown up as long as he's untapped. He is a monster to be respected. This card is not coming around again. This kind of mechanic just doesn't really exist the way it used to. Guardian Beast is just awesome. Legacy, Commander, Vintage, however you want to play it. The sales are surprisingly steady. It still moves copies every week or so. A couple of copies sell, but there's only so much out there, and it really shows. A couple are actually buybacks between sellers, and the prices are drifting up. So it's kind of an upsell each time. Keep an eye if you're looking for this card. You may have to trade up for it. It is a very pricey card indeed. Way to go, Guardian Beast. All right, the Martyrs of Karlis are next. Now, I used to like this card. This with the Veteran Bodyguard. We had like a combo deck we used. The Martyrs aren't as good as far as I'm concerned compared to the Veteran, but they're still a reserve list card. You can find it for $15 Canadian lightly played. It can be played in Legacy, Commander, or Vintage. Remember Commander, guys. Depending on what kind of deck you're playing against, this card can be fairly decent. It's got good blocking power, okay? And it can be pumped up with all kinds of other cards. The average is $13 US. The market has it at $13.59 US, and €9.47 will get you that card. The sales are steady. It does sell copies because it is reserve list and it is from Antiquities. Anyone trying to finish an Antiquities set has to buy this card. That's why some people buy 4 or 5 at a time, making it harder for anyone else to ever complete a set. But hey, it's the Martyrs. What can you say? Our next card up is Telekinesis from Legends. This is a card I've been following because it's slowly kind of drifting along. Now, the idea of tapping a creature for 2 turns and not letting it untap for just a 2 casting cost, that is crazy. I love this card. Legacy, Vintage, and Commander. Remember, blue Commander decks can have this in it. $90 Canadian lightly played. The market average is $86.93. The market itself has it at $82.07, and €72.33 will get you that card. The sales are steady. This card used to be slow, then it went high, then it went back to slow, and now it's steady, which means it's slowly moving along. Keep an eye on a card like this because you never know. It could go much higher. Our next card up is Wall of Kelp from Homelands. I mentioned this card way back in the day, back in 2020, when my channel really first got going. I said, this is an underrated card at $1 a piece. It's now $7 Canadian, near mint average. The average US is $8.14 US. The market has it at $6.48 US and €4.89 to get you that card. But what I find funny is this wall makes more walls, which is amazing in the right context. We used to use a green deck that went still, and you could tap it multiple times. It could get really crazy with the right mana supply to build this massive army of Wall of Kelps to protect you from big beasties coming over. Of course, it has a home with any blue commander deck because it's cheap to get out, and it makes other blockers, which is amazing later on in the game when you got to hold things up a little bit. So way to go, Wall of Kelp. We give you that respect you deserve. And our next card up is Cleansing from the Dark. Another card that has drifted down and is underappreciated at $35 Canadian for a light played copy. The average is $19.39 US. The market has it at $17.43 US. And of course, €19.81 will get you that card. Legacy Commander Vintage again. The sales are steady, but the price is slowly going down. This card might be a real steal in 90 days out from now, after the holidays, when we see how things are moving in the markets. You might be able to get this card a lot cheaper than what it is right now, and it does have a very cleansing effect in certain commander decks. So keep that bad boy in mind. No matter which reserve list card is the one you're after, remember, it is a long haul. It is a long-term investment. You want to just play with it and put it in a deck and forget about it for 20 years. That's what you want to do with reserve list cards, because that's when they really go up in value. You never know which card will fall out of favor or which new reserve list card becomes in vogue depending on the decks and other cards Wizards creates. But they're amazing cards. They're not coming back. The value will always be there for certain people. Way to go, reserve list collectors. Let's hang in there, hold the line, and let's enjoy this great game of ours called Magic the Gathering. I'll see you all tomorrow. And of course, a big shout out to all my awesome patrons out there. Thanks again. Patrons rock, make the world go round. And of course, so many new patrons have come on. Looking forward to having one on board. It's going to be amazing. And remember, January 1st, the Patreon does lock down. See you guys all there. Thanks a lot for sticking around, everyone. You made it to the end. Congratulations. We're going to have some fun here. Got to have some fun. Let's, I don't know. Let's go with Sure, how about Modern Horizons. Uh-oh. That box is getting pretty full, boys and girls. We're going to have to do something about that. Thanks a lot for tuning in, guys. Have a great day today. Hope you enjoyed the reserve list today.